What's up, everyone? It's Roger and Abe here for episode number 92 of the Infinity and Beyond podcast presented by DisKingdom.com with me here in sunny, drizzly UK and Abe there in sunny California. How you doing, Abe?
Good. Nighttime California right now. Everything's good. How about yourself?
Yeah, good. Just ticking along. Kind of an interesting week in terms of news. While not been a huge amount of news, there has been, I would say, there's been a leak this week. We've had a little bit of news. Basically, Finding Nemo has been popping up on retailers right across the globe. He's been appearing all over. So this is when it started getting to the point. It's appeared on so many different retailers. It's like this can no longer be sort of just one-offs. Lots of different retailers are showing the Finding Nemo figure and also the Finding Dory playset, which is, I think it's the 23rd of June, if I am correct.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 24th. I don't remember. 23rd or 24th.
23rd of June. And this is it's appeared on Amazon Japan, Amazon Italy, Player One, Multimedia Shop, and Central Point so far. All turning up there. There was a little bit of confusion at the beginning because one of the Amazon originally just listed Finding Nemo playset and Finding Nemo character. But that quickly got fixed the following day. So definitely looks like we're getting a Nemo character to go along with the playset. So what did you think of this?
I mean, I guess I wasn't surprised because I know we'd get either Marlin or Nemo. But I think the only surprise that I'm getting is, why are they only listing one? Does this mean we're only going to get two figures? If they are going to package the Finding Dory playset like they did Battlegrounds with just one figure, that's just two figures. I wonder. Hopefully there's more, but yeah. Either way, I expected a Nemo. So
I must admit, Nemo character to me completely made sense. The minute I thought of the Finding Dory playset, I thought of a Nemo figure. It was almost an instant. It's like Batman and Robin. It was not. It was coming. You knew. So I was not surprised in the slightest. It's kind of interesting. None of the retailers have put up images of them yet, but then none of them have put up the Alice in Wonderland figures either yet. So I'm wondering if they haven't sent that out yet, just to placeholders. But no, I was gonna be honest. I quite like the idea. It's the only thing that, like I said, the thing that got me was no other characters. There was no Hank. There was no Marlin. There was no the Beluga Whale. It's like, hold on, are we literally just going to get two figures for a playset? Is that all they're going to go for? Is there going to be more later? Are they holding off? It's like, are we going back to the Lone Ranger territory where we only had two characters?
I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were finishing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I don't know. I kind of hope not. I mean, especially looking at the Hall of Heroes, there's still some room for some more Disney Pixar characters. So, at least a Crush or I don't know. I mean, a Hank would be nice too. Just to at least four would be nice, but I don't know.
I don't know. It's a bit odd because on one hand, I can kind of feel like sometimes they've kind of gone a little bit into too many characters, especially kind of bordering on having a character or two that maybe weren't really required or weren't so popular. I'm thinking back to Spider-Man. Like Nick Fury was kind of one of those characters that really didn't maybe stand out as one that was necessary. Or trying to think off the top of my head, Toy Story. We didn't need Jessie. We could have just had Buzz and Woody. Or even Holly for the Cars playset. Sometimes the characters aren't necessarily going to be popular enough to sell a toy. So maybe now they've only gone to one character only. They're maybe not picking that sort of lesser known character just to fill it out a little bit. That's because I think that's the thing with having one character now is they're being a little bit more restrictive. Maybe they've had the budgets cut a little bit, so they're now just. I'm not too worried about having less characters per playset because I think sometimes if there's too many, 6, 7. I mean, the Avengers playset was had way more characters than there were levels.
I don't know. I think it's too early to rule out additional figures, though. I mean, even though the retailers are putting up one or two, still think it's a little too early. I feel like maybe Disney hasn't really exposed a lot of the information to the retailers as well. But no, I mean, it could be, like you said, it could be budget cut, could be something where, now we're going to limit and not add unnecessary figures. then again, it also could be the restrictive thing because they're swimming characters. I mean, maybe they don't want to put too many of those type of characters in the toy box, kind of limit them. So I don't know. It's unfortunate that communication is it's non-existent at this moment, and we're kind of still waiting for next whenever that'll happen. But other than that, it's exciting though, just to see that we're finally getting another fish aside from Dory.
I must admit, I mean, I'm actually really excited about the Finding Dory playset because it's so different. I think it's going to be really different. I'm really excited about having a playset. It just keeps kind of going, hold on, so if we're only going to get 2 for Finding Dory, we're getting 3 characters for Alice in Wonderland, and they didn't get a playset. It's just throwing everything up in the air. But also that new Hall of Heroes, it doesn't look like it's going to hold too many characters. So if they've only got 2 Disney playsets, there wouldn't be a lot of toy box only characters to go in there if there doesn't look like there's a lot of room. I mean, they can add expansions and stuff, but I'm kind of in some ways if they did 4 or 5 for this playset and 4 or 5 for the other Disney animation playset, that's pretty much going to fill up that Hall of Heroes. So maybe there's some erratic kind of Baloo figures just randomly coming out throughout the year.
Oh no! I mean, yeah, you would definitely need to expect at least a Moana and a Maui figure, and obviously we know Pan's coming, so yeah, you're kind of limiting your slots there, especially when you have 3 Alice in Wonderland toy box only figures, unfortunately.
And like you say, also Moana, if it is only 2 characters, adds that element that could be a playset on its own right, because that's only, we only really know 2 characters. I expect we'll see a trailer for Moana soon. Yeah. Maybe they'll wait till after Finding Dory or something. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting time. It's definitely kind of, I'm not actually if they cut back the figures a little bit this year, I don't think that's a bad idea if they're going in a slim year. They make, there's a few things, there's a few play sets, some smaller things. I don't know, maybe they went a little bit, and then maybe the feedback over the years has been too many figures for so little play. I don't know. And then maybe this is a reaction, because you think even Marvel Battlegrounds, if you take away all the 2.0 characters, there wasn't a huge amount of characters for Marvel Battlegrounds at launch.
That's true. I mean, and then again, we're getting some more. We just don't know how many. Maybe it's another 2. Who knows? But other than that, I still think that Nemo is going to be unique gameplay, whether it's 2 figures or not. It's definitely going to add a new element of gameplay to the game. The only concern that I have is I hope they do not go the platformer route with Inside Out and do like a side scroller type of thing. I want it to be a 3D swimmer, so please don't make it like one of those traditional swimming games where it's just from one side to the other. That's my only concern.
Yeah, I'm not really. If it was a 2D platformer, I wouldn't be too worried about that, because I actually love those kind of games anyway. I've actually been playing a little bit of them myself recently. But yeah, no, it's kind of an interesting time. I think it's hard to believe that I think we're only about 3-4 weeks away from the Alice in Wonderland figures, sort of, that are supposed to be coming out according to all the retailers just before the movie, and it feels like we're back into another Marvel Battlegrounds. We are literally, we're a few weeks away. I think is this going to be the new way? I don't think it's I still think like the stuff with the Finding Dory bits pieces of, there's a playset coming out in 2 months and we don't know anything about it, and there's no hype, there's no gameplay, there's no, they're not at PAX showing anything off. They're not. It's like the exact opposite of how they've done previously. You think of last year where they're going to every single event, showing off the gameplay, doing live Twitch streams. It's like maybe the feedback was they overdid the publicity last year and it cost a lot. They didn't bring in, and people saw too much before launch. It's really we seem like we've kind of done a complete flip from this time last year.
Yeah, I think they may have overdone it on the events. Wise, not about exposing like content, but more so just going above and beyond, like almost every event, spending a lot on just big giant 6-foot ads and stuff. Those are expensive, but I mean to go to the events to at least show your game, that would be kind of nice. But yeah, I don't know. It definitely feels slim. I mean, you have no events. You have no content. You're not seeing as much Toy Box stuff through their YouTube channel and all that stuff.
Mm.
And they're even eliminating positions. So it's like yeah, I don't know. Something's going on. I mean, you know, you lost the PC, you lost iOS, you lost
Yeah,
Apple. It's
yeah.
just it's kind of interesting.
And there, it definitely feels like there's some shifting going on in the game. Maybe maybe I was reading that article that was posted on the Infinity and Beyond group about how the Toys to Life category is it got oversaturated. It hasn't performed as well as they wanted in the past. Maybe they put all their eggs into the one basket on Infinity for the console, and maybe it isn't working. Maybe it hasn't worked the way it has done. You don't know we don't know on the numbers side what Disney was expecting from the top end. Is the number one game? It is working really well, but maybe their idea was too big and it didn't bring back in enough. Yeah, it's odd.
You know, I honestly don't even think it's saturation. I think the issue is that they're aiming these games at a too young of a demographic. I feel like they need to raise the age gap a little bit and start making a little bit more quality content, stuff that lasts longer,
Hmm.
stuff that doesn't require you to push a button and carry this and put it here and smash this, like something more interactive.
Hmm.
Because I mean, there's a lot of toy collectors out there, or even figure collectors, to say interactive game pieces aren't looked at as toys to collectors. So it's like
Yeah.
there's a huge adult market who loves this stuff. I mean, if they marketed it to a higher demographic as far as age goes, I
Hmm.
think the Toys to Life category would be doing phenomenal. But
Well, yeah.
yeah, a lot of people jump out of Infinity or even Skylanders because they're not really getting that quality
Hmm.
game.
But
So
also, the kids that were into the game when maybe 1.0, 2.0 come out are a few years older, and maybe
that
they've
too.
moved on to other games. So maybe that, I know that's been a big issue with the Skylanders, is the kids that were playing it 4 or 5
That's
years
right.
ago are now teenagers or tweeners, and they no longer want to play those games, and the game doesn't offer the same content that they might be looking for elsewhere. Um, and it's just this kind of number of different things that are coming through. Infinity needs to keep, obviously you're going to keep having kids coming up younger that will get into it. So you're going to have a new junior generation of 6, 7, 8-year-olds jumping into the game. But I don't know if you're a parent and you're seeing all this stuff on the shelf, maybe it's actually off-putting, seeing too much. No, you're not buying that. Have that, because it's I don't know. It can almost go the opposite way from the parent. It's hard to know exactly what's. It definitely feels like there's been a shift.
And you know what's funny? I feel like our age range, or even some older or some younger, have been asking, the most common complaint is, give us some Disney classics, give me
Mm,
Disney classics, because they love that stuff. Do you imagine if they actually did that they actually did stuff, content for that type of demographic? Those same
mm,
parents that you're saying there's too much out there are going to be saying like, oh wow, Snow White, I remember growing up with this, I want my kids
mm,
to play with this, or something like that. I feel like
mm,
if they change their direction a little bit, and then you and I have constantly been saying that toy box needs an upgrade.
mm,
I tried it again today because a lot of my friends who play are some of the toy box builders, and I wanted to try
mm,
to do something like them, and they built some awesome things, but I can't fathom spending hours of time trying to
mm.
do this, to connect to that so it can do this, so it can play this when I push this button. It needs an update. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a combination of all that stuff.
Mm.
It
I
needs a
must admit,
refresh.
I'm kind of reorganized. I've reorganized all my timings and stuff in the evenings and stuff, to try and get a little bit more focused on producing, playing games, and trying to basically play games every single night and record bits and pieces. So I have now literally scheduled one night a week, Friday nights, to sit down and play a few toy boxes and record them and spread them out for the thing. Literally just like Friday night now is toy box night, to literally play like for an hour or so, 2 hours, play some of the toy boxes. There are some great ones still. There was playing this Jungle Music Mania, and it was quite unique. You had all the music going, and you had to guess which the songs were and stuff. And I thought that was a really good way of doing it. And I'm also, trying to jump back into the play sets, because I actually realized the other day, we've got, I think it was nearly 20 actual if you include play sets and expansion games, there are now over 20 of them between the 3 versions of the games. That's quite a lot of content, but there's also a lot of money been spent into it. But I was just kind of, there's quite a lot. But even just, I was thinking, well, even if I play one a week that's actually going to, that's going to take me nearly 6 months just to get through them all. It's quite, there is a lot of content there if you look at it like that.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, and definitely to revisit it. But you were telling me, you played Lone Ranger on the Wii. That's another
Yeah.
issue. In order for you to play that content you invested money into, you have to go back a few systems. Like I know for me, if I wanted to play 1.0, I have to go back to or 1.0 or 2.0, I have to go back to my 360. I'm PS4 now, you know what I mean? Like I want to.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day, I want to go back and play these playsets. I've got these playsets, I've got these figures, and they're just collecting dust. I can't do anything because I got rid of my PlayStation 3 when I got my PlayStation 4 mistakenly. So I was sat there and I was going, you know what? It's like I've got this Wii. It's sat there under the TV constantly. So I just brought this disc offline, and the other night I was sat there playing the Wii version. It was really weird having to use 2 hands, but completely independently. It was just like, and I thought I hadn't actually used the nunchuk and a Wii and the controller, and I was thinking it must be 6, 7, 8 years since I used the thing. I mean, that thing was absolutely kept baked in dust, and it was really weird. But I also noticed some lots of differences with like things not in the playset. And just things like that. It was just quite interesting, just kind of going, because I've kind of started up this thing now where I want to do, a bit more retro gaming, playing, PlayStation 2, PlayStation, Super Nintendo. I've got recently a console for playing retro games, so I'm picking up bits and pieces off eBay and stuff. Because there's so much stuff out there, and I want to play it. And I was playing Pirates of the Caribbean on I think it was on at World's End on the PlayStation 2 last night. The video will be up, I think, next week. It was just like, this is quite painful playing, and it was just remind me of how bad these kind of games were for just straight to movie wings. This is what Infinity was supposed to try and fix. This was the whole thing of what they were trying to do, was move away from those kind of tie-in games to try and bring them into Infinity, which it didn't fully manage. But when you can pick up some classic games for £1 or £2 online and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, cool. Just get a big pile of them, start playing a retro game every week. But yeah, it's kind of interesting playing these older games like that are tie-in games, which is what Infinity is supposed to be. Because that was always the aim, was to stop them having these bad movie tie-ins and bring them. But the play sets are alternatives to that. But I don't think they've really been hitting the mark. They've been missing quite a lot of movies rather than getting that. Maybe they're going to go back and actually, no, we want to make a separate game for different items. I don't know. It just feels like we're in a very weird strange. Like you said, that they're doing stuff differently with people in the building as well.
It almost feels like they're just, their idea of putting out content to go along with movies is a toy box only character. That's what it feels like mostly. You had Zootopia, we had 2 toy box only characters. You had Jungle Book, you had 1 toy box only character. We have Alice in Wonderland coming out, we have 3 toy box only characters. It's not like we're getting game content, we're just getting a new figure that has game programming in there to play. But it doesn't seem, I mean, it almost looks like it's kind of like a cheap way out. I mean, no disrespect to them, because it takes time to make them and program them and all that stuff, but I don't know. I kind of, I'm not. This is gonna sound bad, but I kind of feel like I had the crappy games because that's more content.
Yeah, it definitely. It almost feels like, right. Okay, we've got a new movie coming out. Let's make a mobile game and a toy box only character. It basically seems to be. It's like not even along the lines of we're gonna make a basic, game. We'll just make even just an hour of content. Just literally just put we're going to make if Baloo come out with a character with a playset on his own, and it was $25, I think it would have sold, because it's literally an hour experience or something. I know it's like, oh, well, it's money and all the rest of it, but I think if they just keep churning out toy box only characters every single time there's a movie comes out, it's not going to last in the long run. And then the odd one has a playset. It's not consistent enough. I know it takes money and and they need to be viewed as almost separate games. And And if the movie, if the playset isn't going to sell enough to make the warrant of that same game going on the shelf, that's what it's all about. But yeah, I agree. There needs to be something going on. I mean, it's also this thing of like the power discs. There's no Finding Dory power discs been listed. There's no Alice in Wonderland power discs been listed. Our power discs gone? I mean, I know they're on sale in the US for a couple of dollars a pack.
Yeah,
I just picked up the Marvel Battlegrounds. Yeah, it's what it's very odd what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it goes down to what our number one complaint is between you and I. It's that communication. I wish they were a bit more vocal. I almost feel like I need to go, behind the scenes and ask the people that I know, like, hey, can you give me some off the record info? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it definitely feels like, if this is just literally like, okay, this is a soft year. We're just on cruise control for this year. A couple of bits and pieces here and there, a couple of play sets, a couple of figures, just to kind of let you all die down, but enough to keep you going before we come back with a big, stronger one. They're not going to announce anything like that because obviously, they want to sell the stuff they want to sell 3.0. But yeah, and why I'm like going, well, is 3.0 going to be like this next year as well? Because it's going to be hard to keep the interest up for people. I think now we're all kind of in rev mode. Normally we're in rev mode for the new game, and it's going to be different this year because if there's only like a playset or two, you're going to be we're thinking now we got 3 playsets in 2016. That's not a lot to keep people entertained. It depends how they spread them out and stuff, but toy box characters only are not going to be enough to bring people in.
I couldn't be in more agreement with you right now because I do remember this time last year. Actually, no, May 5th. Once May 5th comes, I remember how excited we were once we saw that what do you call it, the Insider article.
Yeah, the Game Informer article.
Yeah, thank you. The Game Informer article. I was just so stoked. We were all excited. Right now, I'm not feeling that I guess this antsiness that like, okay, somebody announced something. Come on, something like it just feels so blah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I loved Battlegrounds, but I didn't keep playing it for more than a week. It's like if it was online gameplay in that place, I'd be all over it still to this day. But it's just been an infinity-less month for me so far.
Because I've been asking, it's kind of a regular thing. Every week I ask, on our Facebook group, what are everyone playing? Because I always like to know what people are playing,
right?
Because it changes weekly, and people don't, it's like I know, for example, Hitman has got a new episode out this week. That's going to keep me entertained for most of the week. But everyone is all over the place in game content. People are playing so many different kind of games. I know, like the Ratchet and Clank game came out of nowhere, and it's been a massive family hit. It's a cheap game. It's been getting rave reviews, and that's become one of the big games of this month for kids and stuff. Is because it's a classic platformer, and it's affordable and stuff, and it's got a really kind of great content and stuff. But yeah, in terms of video games, everyone is all over the shop. Everyone's playing different games. There's but then I don't know whether or not, like I said, I think Disney have reorganized their gaming industry, their gaming thing. There's a couple of articles that we've been reading recently talking about how they are refocusing this console and mobile thing. There's no doubt that mobile devices overtook consoles in terms of making money for the first time, I think this week or something. The game companies make more on mobile, but I mean, I must admit, and there's only so many rubies and stuff you can buy for this game.
Yeah, and it gets repetitive too. Like it starts to get old. You start doing the same exact thing. So yeah.
No, it is definitely an interesting time in terms of it, because like we said about the changes there. I know was it Tyler, Player One? He's leaving the company. Did you have a little bit more info on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna dive too much into it because I did have a private conversation with him, but I will say is he had an internship with Disney and it ended. I mean, it's a common thing. He's not leaving because of budget cuts or anything like that. It's just internships and and unfortunately, he didn't get hired in immediately. Doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to be hired in by Disney, but I do know that he's applying all over the place, and we wish him the best of luck because he was an asset to Disney Infinity.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of interesting because I'm gonna kind of maybe for this a little bit right. So internships and stuff. To be honest, from like over here, it's not something that really is. You might have a placement while you're at university for a university placement. Sometimes it's a few months. Sometimes it's generally not. I'm going to be honest. It's generally not used a lot over here. I think there's a kind of thing of unpaid work, volunteering and stuff in a large corporation generally doesn't get viewed very, very lightly here because it's like, well, if they're doing a job, they should be paid for. So, do interns get paid over there when they do the job?
There are paid internships. I definitely believe the Disney one is paid. I know there are internships that are not paid. But I know this one is. I mean, don't quote me, but I'm 100% sure they do get paid.
No, it's just that was more of like an American, like just trying to work out. Not understand because I mean there was we were discussing this the other day with like Allison and her pregnancy leave, because like American have a different system to us. I'm there going, well, she's going to be off for a year because that's what we all get over here, and of course the Americans were like, no, they should 6 weeks or 12 weeks. No, so I'm there going, whoa.
It depends on the it depends on the company. Like for example, Disney likes to bring in interns, and it's basically a way to hire somebody to say like you're hired, but you're not permanently in. It's just like a trial. We're gonna see if you're gonna work out, and if we think you're good, you'll get hired into it. Or if we have a spot that opens, we'll hire into it. Sometimes it just doesn't mean that you're not good or that they don't want to hire you. That there just isn't room. Like there's no open spots for a new job. So that I assume is the case with Tyler because obviously he was awesome. Everybody knows him, and he knows he knows he did a great job for them. So
no, it's good. It's that kind of odd. I think like in general. Obviously there were sometimes differences between countries and stuff. So that was kind of like, sometimes you're like going, well, I maybe don't quite understand what's kind of going on because it's a different system. So that's kind of where I was coming from. But yeah, it definitely feels like the whole team of stuff have changed. There's lots of differences going on, which is a natural thing. And I think that's the one thing with Disney Infinity had to do was trying to bring in different faces so that the community was used to seeing more people because you don't want to be relying on one face or two faces if there's an issue, or like if things happen or it's so. Kind of interesting to see just the Twitch TV live stuff. It just feels like it's all quietening down a little bit.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's been very silent. I mean, literally, like I don't think we've had a Twitch since they did the little gameplay thing for Battlegrounds. That's it. But it's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, it's definitely, and there's nothing wrong with that if it's going it, but I do feel, I don't know whether or not the going quiet and at the same time launching new content, it's like, if everything had stopped and they were like, well, literally, okay, there's no new update till, it just feels when there's no content and they've got new we're a month away from figures and they're still not officially been seen yet, is like, this is a weird system, and it's hard to get people excited when people can't see it. They can't see it on Amazon. They can't see it on the stores.
I'll put more on top of that. It's kind of weird when you go quiet and you tell people you're not going to go to the events anymore. You decide to stop doing PC, iOS, Apple. People are leaving the company. All that stuff happening at the same time. That doesn't look good. It's kind of scary for the fans. Don't get me wrong. We'll be like, what's going on? Luckily, we have other games to entertain us, but still.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting time for the game. I definitely don't. It's definitely not. We're not doing Chicken Little here. I am sure convinced that we are just in a soft year. I think they wouldn't surprise me if they come back in strong next year with a brand new one platform system and had some time to maybe iron out some kinks and stuff. I honestly believe we could literally just be or they've just literally just taken a stop. They've had 3 years of data, 4 years of data now to be able to go back and go, this is working and this isn't, and purely on numbers. What is making money? What isn't making money? I do feel like with Disney Infinity Next, I'm really hoping that it's the beginning of May, and I think they need to get it out. I think, you know, obviously if they're working on doing some announcements and stuff, I think they need to try and get a little bit more ahead on these nexts, because I don't, you know, if they're going to be pulling this, you know, what they're going to do in the first, you know, we've got figures out in a few weeks, and officially we've not seen them. If they're holding off to do the next announcement with the next press release and they build excitement, it's good, but they needed to have done. They need to do it earlier, and I hope that on this next, they try and jump a little bit further forward than they were on that last one, because that was too short, and it left them wide open for people going, "What's next? What's coming on?" You know.
I just got a message. Marvel is saying that we're not going to see the Alice in Wonderland figures because they don't want to show the new Mad Hatter suit.
It's just odd. It's just odd, and
They can't tell us now.
It's just you know, there is that thing of people, and this is what happened with Vinylmation. Okay, so if you do not tell people what is coming out, people will stop getting excited. People will stop not being able to make plans. You know, if people do not know officially that these and cannot see these figures, they're not going to budget for them. You know, there's going to be kids out there going, right, okay, Mad Hatter's coming out in 4 weeks. I've not seen it yet. Oh well, there's something in the shop now I want to buy. That's going to be, you know, people are going to not, if they don't know. It's like if they don't know that Finding Dory playset is not on Amazon, it's not on the retailers, because not everyone goes to the you know, the sites or to the Facebook groups or the forums. People are just scrolling through websites and seeing things. You know, even on the official website, they need to be coming soon or something like that. They are not letting kids budget. They're not letting people budget for stuff, and I think that's always a danger when you aren't telling people in advance about content coming out, because people can't budget for what's coming up, and that means people go off and start doing other stuff.
You used to be able to go into Toys R Us and grab a piece of paper that said, you know, this figure's coming out in 3 months. You want to reserve it now, you can, and you would pay $1, and they'd staple this piece of paper to your receipt. Yeah, that's the thing in the past, because we won't even find out about these figures until a day or two before they're out. You know what I mean? It's just
it's dangerous.
Hopefully,
it's a dangerous present. It's not. I just know how I've seen it with other collectibles where the non-information and also the non-information scares people into people. It scares people. It puts people aren't even aware of it. You know, I know they want to have this kind. You know, okay, the leaks help kind of get the word out to fans, but they're at risk of, you know, 4 weeks out and never officially kind of having content out there. You know, an image of these characters. You know, we knew what Yoda looked like 4 or 5 months before he came out in the shops. We even saw Ray and Vince for 4 or 5 months before they come out. This is dangerous, having weeks to go, or even days.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like you said. Hopefully, it's beginning of May. We'll finally get that next, and get a glimpse of Peter Pan. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, well, at least we've known about him for a while. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on this, guys. Comment below, get in touch with us, have a discussion. We're having a discussion on the Facebook group as well, Infinity and Beyond. And I think that's pretty much the news for the week. That was there was a quick little thing. One retailer in, I think it was Belgium, has got a listing for an R2-D2 figure, which has been up there for months. It hasn't done anything. There's been a little bit of discussion on the Reddit group talking about it, but it hasn't really kind of, a lot of this, it's been there for months. Nothing's really been coming on with that one. So a lot of people think that it's probably just a mistake, but it's been kind of floating around again. But doesn't look like anything's happening with that one.
Yeah, it would make absolutely no sense. I mean, if it was a BB-8 figure, it'd make sense. R2-D2 sounds like a typo.
I still think those droids are coming. I am 100% sure that those droids are going to be in some other playset in the future, because they're going to need to spread out those characters to try and get some more, but they need to work out the tools of how they work. Droid racing or something.
when those come out is when we'll finally see Wally and Eve as playable figures.
5.0 Droid Edition.
Was it 4 years from now? Since it's every 2 years now. Jeez. All right, whatever. Thank you guys. Thank you to Ethan for being our Patreon. Please check them out at Starter Apps and MagicBandCollectors.com. All right, everybody.
And we shall see you guys later.
We shall see you guys soon. Laters.
Laters.